Hello everyone, this is Herbmon. I am going to be making some tutorial videos just to help all the new players who are going to be either transitioning from Starcraft 2 or just picking up the game due to Starcraft Remaster coming out relatively soon. So the first tutorial videos I plan on making are going to be with ZvZ. I do plan on making tutorial videos for all matchups, so please bear with me until I can get those all released. I just got to gather different players to be able to help me out with this, but as of right now, I've been asking around and Squish was able to help me, aka GA Thrawn, and we are going to get started. So what we are going to be doing first off is going to be a 9 pool, 9 gas, and then I will teach you the variations you can go from, and then we'll work off that. So of course we're going to start out just with a little split. For hotkeys, I go 5 through 0 for hatcheries, and then for units is 1 through 4. So as the name of the build, it's pretty self-explanatory. You 9 pool, drone, 9 gas, then you build an overlord at 8, and then you build a drone after the overlord, which is at 8. So I will plan on putting up some pop-up balloons to be able to list everything as I go. So the point of this build is to be as aggressive as possible. The only counter that could really come out of this, actually no, let's go over here. So what I want to be doing right now is build the spawning pool right here to make less surface area for the enemy's zerglings to be able to get in. And then you want to throw down the gas as soon as possible after you get your drone. And then at 8 supply, you build your overlord. And with your next 50 minerals after your overlord at 8, you build a drone. So what I did, since Fighting Spirit, I will be playing all the games on Fighting Spirit since it's pretty much the most common played map. And with Zerg, you want to scout at the closest natural. As you can tell, he's either not there or he is going one base, and we'll be able to tell that soon enough. So as soon as the overlord pops, the spawning pool pop, you morph the first 3 larvae into zerglings. You take 1 drone off gas at 86 and you get speed. And from here it's just nothing but straight zergling production. Now if he has the same rule of scouting as all zergs, his overlord should be right here if he spawned at the top right. But it's not, so by default, if he scouts normal, he should be cross map, so I'm going to send my zerglings there right away. Oh, and it looks like he's going to be 9 pooling right away, so we're still going to get lair. We're going to build up some zerglings, and all we're going to do is defend now. So there's different variations. Now that we know his build, there's different routes I could go. It's either I could start teching, or going more of a greedy build, since I know that he's going to be on the same amount of larvae as I am, but since I have defender's advantage on the ramp, I can get away with just a few more drones, which I'm going to produce. So I'm going to put 3 back on gas. I'm going to send my overlords in the general area. Speed is now done, and I'm going to build an overlord. And doing this is helpful because it bugs out the Zerglings from the opponent. And actually, I will be throwing down a second hatchery for this. And then, as soon as I get enough minerals, I will be getting the spire. Now we got the spire. We've got an extra hatch for larva. We're going to build a few more drones since we've got defender's advantage right here. And we're going to throw up an overlord. And of course, ZvZ is by far one of the most complex matchups due to the fact that there's just so many different variations you can go about. And as of right now, and when I mean that, I mean it's a very situational matchup. So he's continuously building Zerglings. At one point, he's going to get enough Zerglings to where he can sacrifice all his and be able to still push up my ramp, even though it's going to be very cost inefficient. So I will build a couple of Zerglings just to be safe. If you want, you could throw down a Sunken and then just go from there. Yep, and here we go. But I'm just going to build Zerglings. And as you can tell, he's struggling trying to get up. And it's really not easy to do at all. So now that my spire is done, I'm going to build some mutas and Scourge. A couple mutas are now flying towards my base. Okay, he's going to kill my overlord. That's really smart on his behalf. And now I need to build a couple extra overlords and some Scourge. But since I do have a larva advantage, since she's only on one hatch, I will be able to do a significant amount of damage. Because with ZvZ, not only is minerals and gas important, but larva is one of the bigger things as well. So what I can do in this position is just start sending around some Scourge. If I can pop off a couple Mutalisks, that will definitely be beneficial for me. Oh, he did some pretty good micro right there. Okay, I was able to damage him just a little bit. Alright. Anytime you can trade Scourge with Mutalisks, it's always beneficial. Now let's get these back over here and continue with production. So we want to hit a timing now since he's taking the natural. If we let him get the natural, he will have an advantage because he'll have a second gas. So what we're trying to do right now is just build up a little bit and then attack. What the heck? Oops, there we go. We're going to be able to get some free Zerglings, so that's a nice win. He's going to try to push up my ramp, not going to work too well for him. And we are going to push now. So the hotkeys I utilize for my Mutalisks are 1 for mutas, 2 for all Scourge, and then 3, 4 as I break them down. So if I do engage, it's 2 to right click on one Mutalisk, 3, and as you can see, you can break them up. Makes life a lot easier. So now we're going to engage. Nothing at the natural. And here we go. You could do a lot of fancy muta micro here, but as of right now, we just have the advantage. We know we have the surplus amount, so we're just going to right click on everything and just go from there. Nope, that was bad. And the GG goes down. So that is an example of a 9 pool 9 gas versus a 9 pool 9 gas. Now what we will be doing next is a 9 pool versus a 12 hatch. Ooh, that scared the crap out of me. Alright, GG indeed. So you went with a 9 pool 9 gas, right?
Indeed.
Alright, so join the game again. We're going to go through every variation of 9 pool, so if you could do like a 12 hatch or a 12 pool, don't tell me so I can just explain like my thought process throughout the scouting patterns and everything.
Okay.
But so what was your thought process when you were doing your 9 pool 9 gas and you seen me do the exact same build?
My goal was to have you aggress me. I had some lings behind your natural mineral line, and I was ready for you to aggress me, and then I was just going to run into your base, but then you just sat back, and then my plan was thwarted.
Alright, so yep, and that's pretty much the how ZvZ works. Just those minor little things can cause a huge upset. So, are you ready?
Ready.
Alright, so I will mute myself so I do not distract you, and we will get going. So, this will be, once again, a 9 pool, 9 gas, and we will figure out what he plans on doing. Alrighty, so once again, we're going to be doing the 9 pool 9 gas. I will try not to goof this time on the build.
Better not goof.
So, little tidbit, you want to try to put the drones on the mineral patches that are vacant. To make the mining come in a little bit faster so they're not taking their turn. And always try to get the ones that are closest and then go for the farther ones. So, spawning pool going here once again to be able to block off so there's less area for zerglings to be able to get in. Drone right after the spawning pool. After the drone, you build your gas. And now we are going to make our overlord. And of course, the first overlord is going to the closest natural to be able to get all the scouting information necessary. 8 overlord, and then we're going to drone. If you build the drone before the overlord will pop just a few seconds after the spawning pool, and that's not what we want. So that's why we do it at 8. Drone pops. We put them on the mineral patch, and we send the overlord across map. Different players have different perspectives with their overlord scouting, but this, in my opinion, is sufficient. Drone off at 88. Zergling speed. We're just going to rally across the map by default. And then once these Zerglings pop, hotkey them. I prefer 1. Once again, hatchery's 5. First overlord's 2. Second overlord's 3. No overlord at the natural, So we're going to assume that he is cross map, and that's where we're going. Continue with the Zergling production. And as you can tell, it kind of matches up perfectly for the lair. So we're going to build a lair as soon as we get that 100 gas with the 2 drones. And just constantly in production. Alright, so here we are. We are going to be able to see the hatchery. What he should do to be able to defend this is to build 3 Zerglings from his main and send a couple drones. And it looks like we're able to get the hatchery. So we're going to push in. We have the additional Zerglings, and we're just going to be able to overwhelm from the looks of it. I think he got a little bit greedy and built an extra drone somewhere. And so while we're doing this significant amount of economic damage, and it's just going to be as simple as that. GG goes down. And of course you want to throw down your spire as soon as possible. GG. And whoop, there we go. And that's how you do it. I forgot I just made it to that. Alright, now we are going to be playing a 9 pool 9 gas versus a 12 pool 11 hatch 11 gas. And let the countdown begin. Alright, so don't know why that goofed, but so there's a lot of different perspectives. Some people say that it's better to send the drones before the egg, and some people say the egg is better to build before sending the drones. So it's up to you. Choose what you feel is right, and then just work with it. And of course, I'm not trying to say that I know everything. It's more of just trying to give a basic entry-level understanding of the openers for pretty much every matchup. So once again, we're going to. Whoop! I almost built an overlord. So used to being building the 12 pool, 11 hatch, 11 gas. So we're going to 9 pool. Bring the larva to the left side. By doing that, you just select your overlord, select the larva, hit S, and the larva will start working his way to the left side. You can only move to the left side. And build the gas as soon as you're done with the 50. We're going to build an overlord. And then a drone after the overlord. And what I meant was a 12 pool, 11 gas, 11 hatch. And my bad on that build. But I will go over it, so I apologize for the confusion.
I'm so confused. Sorry.
So, once again, overlord is going to the natural. Zerglings are going to be morphed after the overlord pops. And as soon as the spawning pool pops, we're going to wait for the 86 or 88. Send the drone to the mineral line. Build Zergling speed, which is M for the hotkey. And we're going to rally across map. No overlord at the natural if he was scouting standard. Of course, some players like to scout opposite way, so like scout to the main instead of the closest natural. So with that being said, it's pretty much up in the air, but this is how I like to scout, so pick and choose what you want to do. I'm just trying to show from my perspective. So just continuously produce the Zerglings. Set the rally point just with a simple right click to the natural of the opponent. We see that he's got Zerglings, so we know that he is going for the 12 hatch, or the 12 pool. And what we're trying to do is just get a nice engagement. He did not bring his drones in time, so we're actually in a really good position now. And we're just going to continuously build Zerglings and attack the natural. What he wanted to do was have his drones and lings out at the same time to be able to fight me off, and you only need 2 drones to do so. He tries sending a few, but it doesn't seem like that's going to help. Zerglings are a very good unit. Every Zergling that pops out of the natural, we're going to kill. And just continuously regroup our Zerglings. Try to force engagements on the bottom side of the ramp. We killed the natural, so we're in a really good spot. We have enough Zerglings to be able to push up, and we're just going to simply win. Fun fact, you can't kill drones by A left clicking with your Zerglings because they're going to auto-target the Zerglings as opposed to fighting the drones. So you do have to keep that in mind when you're attacking. And that's the game. Alright, bud. So it seems like you were unable to bring your drones, or 2 drones at the same time with your Zerglings to be able to fight off.
Yeah, so I didn't want to... I wanted to make it as if it was a normal ZvZ,
Yes.
where you wouldn't know what your opponent's going, and you wouldn't just blindly pull drones to the natural.
Of course.
And so, when I saw your lings, I didn't go to my main and grab drones instantly. I was a little late with that. I was moving around my lings a little bit too much.
Oh, and it's understandable. It's just one of those quick reactions that ZvZ is notorious for.
Indeed.
Alright, and that pretty much wraps up the diversity of the 9 pool. Pretty much when the opponent is doing something more greedier than a 9 pool themselves, you pretty much just stick with the ling production until you can get your Spire out to produce Mutalisks. But when the opponent does a 9 pool, the same build as you, there's a little bit more diversity when it comes, as we got to see. I built a hatchery and really utilized the larva advantage, as my opponent, Squish, was still on 1 hatchery, trying to be more aggressive. So remember, in ZvZ, always try to utilize chokes with Zerglings, and don't try to over-drone unless you know you're in a good spot to be able to do so. So, any last words, Squish?
Nope.
Alright, sounds good. We will see you guys in the next video. Bye.